What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Welcome back to Ground Up Faith. This is the show where I provide for you all kinds of religious content. I'm glad you're joining me. Today is Tuesday, and if you've got 2 minutes, this is the show for you where I take your questions about faith and I try to combat every pastor motive that I have of over-explaining things and give you the most simple, straightforward answer to your questions. Now, I am coming to you on location today from the sanctuary of Good Shepherd Lutheran Church here in Mount Holly, North Carolina. It is the congregation that I serve as pastor, and I'm coming to you on location because your question has to deal with something that we use in here. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in 2 minutes or less today because there's a lot of explaining and cool things to talk about in this, but I'm going to do my best. So your question for today is, what is the Paschal candle? So let's rock and roll. So this right here is a Paschal candle. If you have been in a Lutheran, Catholic, Methodist, or Episcopalian church, you've probably seen this really big giant candle that sometimes we have lit and sometimes we don't have lit, and it uses this big fancy word Paschal. Now Paschal is a term that we oftentimes use to refer to Easter. It comes from the Latin word Paschales, which is itself a derivation of the Hebrew word that means Passover. So Christians oftentimes understand what happened with Jesus during Holy Week and Easter, that whole dying and rising, passing over, if you will, is sort of a Christian understanding of Passover that we get from our Jewish sisters and brothers, where they understand their salvation from slavery to be when the angel of death passes over their houses because they saw the blood of the lamb smeared on the doorposts. So that's where we get this fancy term Paschal from. And so this is our Paschal candle. Now, typically speaking, a lot of churches have one that they use every year. They use for just a year. They bless it, and then they use it throughout the year, and then it's over with. This is an oil candle that we use from year to year, and you light it during the Easter season or the Paschal season, and you light it at other times as well. The simple way to understand it is anytime the altar paraments are white or red, we light it. So that's like Pentecost, that's Easter season, that's Christmas season, and we also use it for baptisms and for funerals. Now, a lot of people kind of look at these traditional churches like we have and they think, oh, you do all these crazy little things that just are weird little traditions and it's just there to burden people. Well, no, that's not really the case. In reality, we have all of this stuff because all of this stuff helps to tell us a story about salvation history, about God's presence with us and continued work to bring God's people to God, to save us. So there's a great story in the book of Exodus where we get that first Passover account of God's people wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. And God lights their way with a pillar of fire by night and is with them in a pillar of cloud by day. It serves to remind them that God is with them, that God is guiding them, and that God is protecting them. And so our Paschal candle is this big, huge candle that kind of harkens and calls our attention back to that pillar of fire by night and that pillar of cloud by day. And so it does the same thing. It reminds us that God is with us. And so in simple, that's the story this tells us, that God is with us, that God is taking care of us, that God is guiding us, that God is loving us, and that again and again and again, God chooses to save us. So I don't know that I did that in 2 minutes or less. We'll have to check when I edit this video and upload it. But anyways, thank you for your question. As always, if you have questions, put them in the comments section or let me know. I do appreciate you watching these videos. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the videos and like and share and bell notifications and all of that kind of stuff because I've got a ton of great content that I'm bringing to you to help strengthen your faith. As always, I hope that you have a great day.